Okay, welcome back again to some Napoleon Total War on the something map, on the Lodi map. We'll just go to the game itself. Okay, there we go. So yeah, as you can see, we got a pretty big 2v2 going on here. Got actually, I think it's yeah, actually that's right. I started on the left there. So it's going to be myself playing as good old France, just rearranging my troops. My ally is going to be Britain, funnily enough, and I think his name was Damsel or Damsel, something like that. Probably not Damsel, but you never know. So thankfully, because this is a replay, we'll fast forward so we can get past this deployment phase. But there we go. You can see, yeah, we're shuffling a few things around there. As you can see, we have the wait a minute, 6 regiment infantry delegers. I thought those were, yeah, they're the light infantry. I don't know why I've got them on the flank there. Going to be a bit vulnerable. Ah, there we go. I'm going to be moving the militia maybe to cover them. I don't know. No, we've got the old guard instead. And it's going to be too late anyway because, actually no, just in time because they're there. But in any case, yeah, we're going to have mounted Nizami Kedits coming in from the Ottomans. And yeah, we're also going to have a bunch of more of those guys. Foot guys coming in behind them. I might just go to regular speed actually, since we're getting a bit of jerking around. And at the same time, we're going to have Prussia all the way over here. So, a somewhat more regular army, as you can see. In fact, actually does have some mounted units, not much though. Oh, okay, now it's popping into view, so I guess they were out of view until then, and whoops. Well, we can watch them come in from underneath, I suppose. Oh. Okay, I think we better get the camera back up there. It's the debug camera in case you didn't notice. So we're going to see the initial engagement from underneath, it seems. Oh god, look at him go, eh? Yeah, it's... maybe I'll put that as the screenshot for the video. Very amusing indeed, but there we go, getting to it, and there we go. So yeah, we got the mounted Nizam Kedits coming up against, let's see, it's going to be my chasseurs chevals, and yeah, my old guard as well. Oh no, there's the militia. My old guard are actually right over here. These militia, they are unfortunately going to be routing, going to be entirely destroyed. I don't know why I'm sending in my chasseurs cheval. I can now see why I'm sending them into melee, because of the fact that well, they do have guns on them. They're probably better off going into melee anyway, although up against this number of Kedit rifles, yeah, going to be a bit tricky though. We'll see what happens though. As to my own old guard, they are not in a box formation, unfortunately, or square formation, whatever you want to call it. Very unfortunate. That's probably going to be what screws them over. Sir, and yeah, at the same time we do have...
Our general is under attack!
Indeed, we do have Kedits... Actually, is that it? Kedits? In any case, we've got Kedits. I'm trying to rush my general. Thankfully, managed to get out of there. My Lancers don't exactly charge them, which is what they should be doing to make the most out of them. But we'll see what's happening elsewhere on the battlefield. The British guy is just going to be hanging back, so it looks like all the action is going to be here. So definitely was not expecting... Oh, ouch, there go my old guard. Yeah, that was basically because they didn't form into square there. Sucks to be them. But anyway... Yeah, I definitely was not expecting a massive wave of bloody Kedit mounted infantry, for God's sake. But there you go, that's what happened though. But my old guard managing to form up though, a couple of squads of old guard. Polish guard lancers are also going to be coming in to do a bit of damage. Hopefully a nice little counter-charge against the Kedits is going to be what the doctor has in mind. Or the doctor's ordered, whatever, you know what I mean. Managing to get in, getting their nice little charge bonus off, and not doing... Yeah, they've definitely suffered some pretty significant losses, I think, in the initial charge there, though. So even though they did manage to do quite a bit of damage in the initial charge, well, what the hell, their morale's faring a little bit better. Oh, no, it's not. Their morale going back up again. I don't know why that happened exactly. Probably because of the general, the generalissimo.
Our men are running, sir!
And yeah, we're going to have more guys running. Swiss foot, ouch. Hey, we definitely should have been paying a bit more attention there. Because if they formed into line, they would have been just fine and dandy, so now I'm going to have to actually retreat them. And I've still got all this infantry back here, actually. In fact, so does my British ally there, so I definitely could have moved a little bit more to the front. So there we go, finally going to be moving in my brave infantry there, which are just another line infantry, but fancy. immaculately turned out. Will they give a good account of themselves? Who knows? Who knows? All I know is that these mounted cadet infantry are a real pain in the ass.
Our men are running,
And
sir.
I think they actually all managed to fire at once. I think it's because of the hill. They sort of were firing over each other. Not 100% sure, actually. Let's wait for them to fire again and see what happens. No. Never mind, they're not going to fire again. Alright, well, as you can see, my flank on the left is definitely crumbling. I mean, my guard lancers are they actually... Yeah, the Polish guard lancers, they are actually doing everything they can to charge, but they're in trouble of getting countercharged, and of course they're getting shot to pieces as well. Jesus, all these guys are shooting at the exact same time, for God's sake.
Our men are running, sir.
Jesus, unloading crap loads of firepower. I mean, shooting probably a few of these guys in the back as well, but still, this is pretty significant. And yeah, well, I should have tried to plug up my left flank a bit sooner, but oh well, it's all a learning experience, as they say. So the Ottoman's going to be charging, actually charging this time around with their mounted rifles, and it's probably not going to do them too many favours, getting shot up to pieces. I started to see any of my guys actually forming into square, for fuck's sake. I don't know what the hell I was thinking of that, but in any case, yeah, these guys have completely disintegrated in terms of morale, so they'll be alright. And yeah, I mean, at least I formed these guys into square. Are these guys, these cadet guys, are they going to be charging the Swiss fort? We'll see what happens. I mean, at the very least they did form into square. Oh man, again, oh thank God I managed to get these guys to form into square at the very least. Good, okay, so reacting just barely in the nick of time with these brave infantry forming into square. I think these guys, the Polish Legion, they formed into square as well. That still didn't seem to stop the cadet guys from coming in and they basically ran through them, for God's sake, but it doesn't really matter. Their morale is completely collapsed and they're on the run as well. So as you can see with the power bow, it's relatively even at the moment. I think the enemy team might have a tiny advantage, and my old guard charging straight into this little crossfire is probably not going to help.
Our men are running, sir.
Indeed, it's not going to help at all, charging straight into the crossfire, but oh well, at least I'm taking out the guys that I can from these mounted Nizam cadets. That's something, and my British ally is charging forward, mostly just to meet his Prussian counterparts, more than anything else, but we'll see what happens though. But these guys are really nasty though. Well, I suppose it's just generally mounted rifle infantry in general, actually, because, you know, they can quickly move around and then try to flank your guys, but of course, you know, that's indeed, that's offset by the fact that they're pretty expensive, and also by the fact that, you know, that you don't get too many of them either. So there is that to consider. My guard lancers, Dutch guard lancers, trying to do a bit of damage. Unfortunately, too much for them apparently, and yeah, we also got these guys trying to charge as well. These guys in square at the very least. My Polish Legion, I've got no idea. It's just a bloody melee taking place, and yeah, that is all she wrote, apparently. But at the very least, yeah, the Ottomans' cavalry is slowly but surely getting whittled down, but keep in mind he's still got his ally to rely on, and he also does have, actually I think he went pure cavalry. I don't think he's actually got any regular troops, at least none that I can see. Interesting. Well, what the hell, thankfully my ally is going to be counter-charging, and yeah, I mean, these mounted infantry, they're not really going to fare too well in a prolonged melee, and still trying though, definitely still trying, but yeah, against this massive amount of British troops, Lightfoot's actually need to get out of there. But anyway, against all these other guys though, definitely don't stand too much of a chance. Although I have to admit though, these cadet infantry, how the fuck are they... Where's the commander? The commander's there. Are they really in range of him? I'm not entirely sure, but still, you'd think that these guys would be breaking. I mean, come on, they're surrounded on all fronts. Whatever. In either case, my ally finally seeing infantry. Finally seeing action. But fencibles, are they like light infantry? Yes, no, actually, no, they're not. Interesting. Here is light infantry, again getting caught into the melee. I don't know what the hell he was thinking of that. He's going to be counter-charging with his own lifeguards, and yeah, what the hell, we do have these life hussars as well as regular hussars coming in, but I think of all these guys charging in, one thing actually that my British counterpart, my ally, could have done actually is that he could have tried to charge the hussars and life hussars from this angle as well, actually. I think that would have been alright if they charged immediately, but Not what they'll, but should be able to take them out anyway, just due to sheer numbers, but still could have handled that a little bit better. And what do we have? We've got the Musketeers of Prussia. And as for the Ottomans, I don't really see anything from them. We do have to watch out for their bloody cadet infantry though, they can definitely strike from behind. We don't have any artillery for them to attack anyway, so we just have to make sure that... oh, okay, general stuff. Oh yeah, that's right, for Great Britain and one for France. Just have to make sure they don't shoot us in the back too much. Same time though, yeah, thankfully we are taking apart their hussars and knife hussars, slowly but surely. My militia are... what the hell are they doing? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Now they're going to be charged again. They just decided to pause there, maybe to try to get a shot off, but then they just decided to charge, probably because they just got charged themselves. These life hussars are incredible. They've got next to no men, and yet they haven't broken yet. I have to admit, that's pretty freaking ballsy, and I'm pretty sure that they're too far away to really benefit too much from the area of effect from the generals. But there we go, they're finally dead. And yeah, pretty much all killed to the last man. There's oh no, there's Rouse actually, Great Britain lifeguards, I think. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, well, and apparently that we've captured a building as well. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting charge by the Ottoman player, but he seems to have exhausted himself. Thankfully for myself, I do have, well, still got plenty of troops remaining, and yeah. Prussia's still got much of their stuff remaining as well, but my British player pretty much didn't really lose anything from what I can tell. I mean, we still do have this squad of mounted cadet infantry back here to worry about, but oh, what the hell, I think we should be alright. Go just get the camera to phase through them. Look at that, looking very, very immaculately turned out indeed. So there you go. Check out what's happening on the battle lines here. We actually do have a nice little... Actually, we could have had these guys possibly in enfilade. And in fact, it looks like I'm going to try to charge them, but lo and behold, we're going to get countercharged by the remaining fucking cadet infantry of my opponent, the Ottomans. Interesting, yeah, playing as the Ottomans, not using any of their swordsmen. Very strange indeed. So managing to get a few shots off on these guys, very piss poor effort by myself in defending there, but I think I might just be able to get them maybe, if I can get these guys actually into formation. Or they're just going to charge me. But I think I just told them to form square just before they got charged there. Thankfully, I think there actually is some sort of a bonus that's applied before the... oh my. That's applied just as they're forming square, actually. They don't have to visually form square in order to get all the bonuses from doing so, I think. But yeah, as you can see, these Ottoman cadets really being a pain in the ass. My, well, at least my brave infantry are all right, and my other guys managed to mostly form into square. The Polish Legion getting caught out as well, though suffering pretty heavy losses in terms of numbers, and yeah, slowly but surely I'm unfortunately getting whittled. So very good use of the cadet infantry, mounted infantry, by the Ottomans, I must say, actually. And I was just about to click on the map again, but we saw what happened at the beginning of the game, so we can't quite do that just yet. What do we have here? The Highland Foots versus the Musketeers. So going to be retreating, nothing too surprising there. We've still got these guys hanging around, the cadet infantry. Still got these guys as well, so yeah, the Ottomans are definitely not out just yet, but neither am I, so we'll see what happens. Might just fast forward a bit, actually, seeing as not much is actually happening. We'll keep an eye on the minimap and all that, but at the moment we're just maneuvering our guys into position, out of position, all over the place. Sounds good to me. Looks like I'm going to be reforming, trying to maybe... oh, okay, looks like more guys popping into view there. Trying to get a bit of a flank on them, and well, we'll see what happens though. Definitely have to see what happens. I might be vulnerable to these guys, but well, still got pretty sizable forces here. I just have to make sure they don't get shot in the back. And is that what's going to happen? Well, let's find out. These guys are reforming, so it looks like I'm actually going to reform them to hopefully engage the cadets. And they're going to engage before I get the first few shots off. I do manage to get a few shots off now though, thankfully. And yeah, that is going to whittle down, yeah, it's going to whittle them down just a tiny bit, not by much though, but better than nothing, I suppose. These guys are just such a massive pain in the ass though to deal with, because yeah, they can just, well, I suppose it's just mounted infantry in general. Yeah, like I said before, they can just run in, take some pot shots and just run back. Thankfully my guys were not being engaged by these guys at the same time. It would have been a bit disconcerting otherwise. And there we go, I'm going to probably be reforming again. Hussar is going to be charging straight in. Do have some militia to worry about, but I think I should be alright. They're probably going to charge an actual squad. Maybe they're just going to go straight for my militia. Let's find out, shall we? And nope, they're going to go straight for my Polish Legion, and they're not going to form into square. No. Oh man, talk about bad micro. I tried to retreat them, but yeah, that's indeed. I should have just formed them up into fucking square when I had the chance. I mean, at the very least, my Swiss foot are in square. Unfortunately, I can't form up my militia into square. And yeah, it looks like the presumably I set up like a light infantry screen against these cadet infantry, cadet mounted infantry. You know what I mean? But it looks they just completely overran them. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I was thinking actually, you know, that these guys will probably just be used as range, but you know, of course they can charge in as well. So whoopsie long. And not only that, but they're going to charge my general staff. And well, these guys are facing the wrong way. Whoops. Oh, these guys apparently can fire on the move as well. Isn't that just a fucking liberty? So incredible, simply incredible. Talk about the surgical strikes by these cavalry. And we still got a couple of cavalry back behind our lines as well, which is just fucking dandy. At the very least, these hussars are going to probably die. These militia are getting a bit demoralized because my general getting taken out. Some of my other guys actually. At the very least, these hussars are going to be retreating. Thank God for that. But really, I mean, that was 2 squads of fucking cavalry, and they did loads of fucking damage. That was just insane. I definitely need to work on my micro, it seems, and yeah, I need to be a bit more careful of mounted infantry in the future. Thankfully, my British ally is still pretty strong, but yeah, as you can see, the power balance is shifting towards our opponent's favour. Looks like my ally is finally going to be seeing a little bit more actual combat on his side, God forbid. Here we go, going to get a nice little hussar charge. Let's see if we can follow them closely. There we go, very nicely done. Going to charge straight into the Highland Foot. And not really sure why my British ally didn't actually go for a square formation, but well, it doesn't really matter anyway because they got pretty much annihilated, so away they go. Interesting, I guess he just trusted that he could get loads of damage off on the cavalry before they actually closed the ranks. At least that's what I'm assuming happened maybe, but yeah. Indeed. In any case, these guys should actually be retreating so that these light foot can actually fire at these other guys, because at the moment, yeah, the Fencibles, great name, they're actually getting right in the way of these light foots. Kind of sucks, but yeah, well, hopefully my ally is going to learn from that, as I've learned a bit from this game as well, to say the least. But as you can see, we definitely do have a nice little flank going on. They are trying to flank us with the musketeers, but yeah, all they're doing really is they're just forming a bit of a convex shape for our little concave to take advantage of, so not going to be doing them too many favours. At the same time, we do have what looks like the final clash between myself and the Ottoman army. Looks like got militia running away. My Swiss foot are not doing too well. These guys, the brave, at the very least, are going to be forming a nice little square formation, and in fact, we might be able to get. Jesus, only 2. God damn it! So that was two members of the cadet infantry. They'll reduce to 2 members out of the entire squad before they actually routed. I mean, talk about getting the maximum use out of them. Jesus Christ. And he's still going to, the Ottoman Empire here is still going to retreat to their general staff, and I've lost my general staff as well. I've still got 2 squads though, so Swiss foot and the brave, so they can take on the general staff if need be, but definitely reducing the effectiveness of my military there just a bit. These guys hopefully will stop routing at some point before they reach the edges of the map. So as you can see, me and the Ottomans, we basically, yeah, we basically exhausted ourselves on each other. Oh great, nope, these guys are completely screwed. Oh well. And yeah, I don't know why, I don't know what I was thinking here. I'm completely isolated from my ally. I'm thinking most likely that I'm trying to flank. That's probably what I'm thinking, but we'll see how that works out. At the moment though, yeah, things are definitely looking pretty challenging for myself and my ally. The power balance is Still in the enemy's favour. It's not that great though, but it's definitely in their favour. They'll have to watch out. Will my flank be able to do anything? We'll just have to wait and see. We do have these musketeers in a nice thick blob of 4 rows of infantry. Might be able to get a nice sort of flank off. We'll see what happens though. And as for my British ally, interesting. He's got like a multi-layered approach. The only problem is that he can't fire over his infantry, and yeah, these guys are just going to get torn to shreds. Sucks to be them, to say the least. Light infantry, they can fare a little bit better in front of other infantry actually, because if you get them to use that light infantry behaviour or whatever they call it, then they'll crouch down and then other infantry can fire over them. So good stuff, although they shouldn't really be in the thick of combat anyway. But there you go, at the very least my ally is inflicting some morale damage on the Prussians, managing to get a couple of squads to rout. Definitely needs to spread out his infantry lines just a little bit more and move these guys up a bit more as well. Actually, might be able to get a bit more of an actual concave happening, but what the hell, it's not... I mean, the situation could be worse. And at the very least I am trying to get some flanks off, well, one flanking action off at the very least on the Prussians. But really, look at that, he doesn't give a damn, he's just going to keep charging forward. I mean, at the very least I'm getting some shots off, but yeah, these guys are pretty heavily depleted. And as a fighting force, I mean, it's pretty obvious that that my army is pretty much dead. And unfortunately the Ottomans have still got this god-awful mounted fucking kitted infantry. But well, what can you do? Still though, quite the battle thus far. We do have the Prussians reforming it. Sorry, the Prussians reforming, not reforming, but reforming a bit, and yeah, they're actually reforming on my guys as well. So yeah, these guys are not going to do too well at all. The brave, at the very least, they're going to last. I suppose they're not going to be demoralized too quickly, but that's about it really. I'm just distracting them basically, and hopefully my ally is going to take advantage of that and move up, and looks like he's going to do that. Unfortunately, he's also going to basically ensure that my opponent takes the or our opponent takes the hills. They're going to have the high ground, which kind of sucks, but well, what can you do? Are these guys going to form square? I think so, and General Staff going to be wisely getting out of there. Nicely done. In fact, might be able to get these guys on a flank maybe. Not that it really matters that much. These guys are well, they're getting depleted, and yeah, they're going to retreat at the same time. So one more squad left. What I should be really doing is I should be retreating them so I can get them to reform with my ally, but nope, not in this case. In this case, we're going to have the doctrine known as death before dishonor. And yeah, these guys are going to die quite immaculately, I'm sure. Going to give quite the account of themselves before they die. And there you go, that's something. Yep, here we go. They don't even manage to form into a square. They're just going to get thrown all over the place, attacked by two sides, and that is that. I literally have nothing else left on the battlefield except for these brave infantry, and they're probably going to rout off of the battlefield. So now it's basically down to my ally, the remains of the Prussians, and a couple of squads by the Ottomans, which admittedly this guy really knows how to micro his cadet infantry, cadet mounted infantry, or at least when he's down to a couple of squads, he seems to be able to micro them. Either that or my micro is really shit. But well, my brave infantry are still kicking. Are they going to retreat, or are they going to die before dishonor? We'll just have to wait and see. God damn it. They definitely sound concerned, that's for sure. But anyway, well, someone sounds concerned. Interesting tactic actually by my by our opponents here, sending up two squads of musketeers, and this is actually going to get all of my British forces, all of my allies' British forces to retreat. He had these guys in a freaking concave. He could have gotten some good shots off against them, but maybe he was just afraid of being lured into a trap. I'm not entirely sure actually. I might just fast forward a bit, because if I remember correctly, yeah, there's not really going to be much happening. My brave infantry are probably going to get squashed by the general staff. We'll see what happens, but yeah, probably they probably won't be doing too much. We'll see what happens. Yeah, whoa, okay, my British ally is completely retreating. Jesus Christ. Nice little clouds forming as well, but still interesting game though. Opponent definitely does have the high ground, and yeah, it looks like they're going to be camping a bit on it. Notice that the power bar is pretty much equal. Nope, it's actually going in our favour now, and especially after taking care of some cavalry. I didn't actually see what that was, but yeah, definitely in our favour now. So if our opponents just decide to camp that hill, then they're going to end up losing anyway when the timer runs out, because we've got more power than they do. More firepower. So yeah, we've got a bit of a tense situation at the moment, and who knows, maybe artillery wouldn't have been such a bad idea in this case, you know, to help dislodge them, because the normal rules that I play with disallow artillery altogether. But still, though, the onus is on our opponents. The onus, yeah, the onus is on our opponents to actually yeah, to actually attack those. So yeah, the onus is definitely on them, and yeah, that's what they're going to be doing. Because yeah, if they don't attack, then yeah, they're just going to lose when the time runs out. And yeah, it looks like they're going. Sorry, it looks like they're going to be charging down the hill, and yep, the onus and the initiative might just be in their hands. We'll just have to wait and see. And yes, today's keyword is going to be onus, in case you haven't noticed. Well, that's, and of course things like immaculately turned out and all that. But anyway, a whole bunch of musketeers as well as foot guards, mostly musketeers spam. Going to try to get a bit of a flank on my ally, and I believe in the in-game chat actually was pointing that out to him. You know, try not to get flanked on your top flank there. We'll call it the top flank, I suppose. And yep, he's not really reacting too much. He does have some light foot though. He needs to. There we go. He needs to get them to fire. Nicely done, and yep, these guys are going to be forming up, and yep, we definitely are at a bit of a risk of possibly getting a bit of a flank. We'll see though, definitely a very tense situation. It's going to take a bit more time, whoops. Well, actually, yeah, sorry, I don't have too much time raining, but anyway, we'll fast forward a bit, since obviously they're just going to spend forever fucking lining up the infantry perfectly before they actually attack. There we go, starting to get a bit of a flank going. Not too much of a flank though, given the circumstances, but yep, they're going to be marching forward. Yep, literally marching forward, just walking. There we go, and yep, we might actually have a combat taking place. And my ally is again going to retreat, interesting. Oh.
We have killed their general, sir.
And
Now,
apparently we also
give
killed their
us
general.
right.
I think it was this one here actually, so very nicely done actually. Very nicely done indeed. I think that's only going to affect the Ottoman player's troops, and he doesn't really have anything really that belongs to the Prussians, so... Indeed. It's still anyone's game though. Actually, what's this? Slow motion. Play. Okay, we can't go any slower than slow motion or pause, of course, no problemo. Actually, what about sounds? Will they still play it? Nope, they won't. Oh well. What the hell, maybe we can see that slow motion. Ah, fuck that, actually. Actually, there we go. And there we go, finally, we're going to have the final battle, most likely, of this match. And by the looks of things, we should have things handled pretty nicely, actually. We've got a nice little concave sort of happening. We could actually try to extend it a bit further if my ally was willing to stretch out his troop lines just a little bit further. He definitely does have them bunched up a little bit too much, actually. 2 rows is one thing, but 3 rows is way too much, and 4 columns is definitely, or 5 columns actually just barely, is way too much, that's for sure. But we're still winning though. For some reason Prussia's just marching their musketeers. They're now actually going to be retreating them, a bit of a mismarker there. I think maybe he was trying to charge them, but he forgot to tell them to run, or something like that. Yeah, very strange behaviour on his behalf. It might just end up costing him the game, actually, because as you can see, our opponents were not doing that well. What the hell's happening now? Anyway, they were not doing that well before the battle started, and yeah, now this nice little concave forming. Yeah, pretty safe to say that they're actually screwed. I don't know what the hell that pause was, though. It was like experiencing the lag in the replay as well. That was weird, to say the least. And we've actually got these guys in enfilade as well. What the hell is the Prussian player doing? I've got no idea. I mean, if he's reforming his troops, that's one thing, but he's moving them around within our range of fire, so yeah, these guys are going to fall back, well, retreat, actually, rout. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on there. Bizarre, utterly bizarre. He's going to try to shore up the morale a bit with his general. I suppose that should stop the, or maybe it'll stop the musketeers from routing. We'll see what happens. Maybe not. Still very strange though, the way this Prussian player is moving about. I dare say my ally is having an easier time versus the Prussians than I did against the Ottomans. But well, in any case, as you can see, the Prussian player isn't making it that easy. But I mean, really, look at this. We're basically going to envelop them and put a nice little stranglehold on them and utterly annihilate them at this point. Yeah, I don't know what the hell the Prussians were thinking, moving up like that while being in the line of fire, but definitely making our job a bit easier, that's for sure. Well, my allies' job a bit easier. And again, they're going to be moving... what the hell is he doing? Are they meant to be facing that direction? Okay, oh no, that's actually another Prussian squad over there. Ah, well, another squad in the foreground retreating, and... Wow, I think they're shooting each other in the back there even. Oh my god, this is... Oh. Well, there we go, glad I...
victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Indeed, glad I managed to catch that on camera, so... Also for your enjoyment as well, of course. These guys are also facing the wrong direction. I've got no idea what the hell this Prussian player is doing. It's like as if... it's like as if he's trying to lose as quickly as possible or something. But really, I mean, if he just wants to go out in a blaze of glory, he might as well just tell them all to charge. You know, just go on a suicide melee charge of his infantry and general and all that. But no, instead he's going to retreat his general. He's got a single squad of musketeers. Oh no, he's actually got another squad up here, but no, 2 squads. But yeah, there we go. Abandoning all pretense of civility, it looks like Great Britain is just going to charge straight into the middle of them. Not too surprising at all. What kind of infantry did he have again? The Highland Foot. Yeah, that's pretty fancy. Not as good as the Coldstream guys. Yeah, not as good as that, but still should be pretty good. He probably could be supporting himself, and yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. They're just going to go for a complete charge, and well, kudos to the Prussian player for not quite giving up though. Definitely getting a nice little flank there, and my British ally not reacting to that at all. I think he's just focusing on what's happening here, maybe. But really, he just needs to tell these guys to charge, get these guys to reorient themselves, take out these musketeers, and that'll be fine and dandy. But nope, he's actually just... He's getting them all to charge, maybe? I don't know. Still got these guys who are basically doing nothing as well, so definitely could be a bit more efficient. But really, I mean, the game's pretty much over, so I think I might just fast forward actually. There we go, those guys are going to mass rout, and now it's down to these musketeers and the general staff. Will the musketeers and general staff be able to make a difference? No. No, they won't. I'm going to spoil it right now and say that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get annihilated. Even the general staff of our own is actually going to be charging them. And there we go. They all routed from the battlefield. Definitely quite a victory, to say the least. Yeah. Well, there we go. Could have done a bit better in terms of enemy killed myself, but still interesting game. And I shall see you all in the next video.